We're starting a new month. This is the month of April. And this is the month of Easter. So we normally take this time to really look at some of the teachings of Jesus and see what we might discover. So our Christian teachings are based on the life and demonstrations of Jesus and what we have interpreted around them and about them. We look at what he did, and the acts are so far removed from what we do as a people that we feel as if it's impossible for us. Even metaphysical Christians, as much as we study, we look at what he did, the healings, the miracles, the connection he had with God. And even though we can touch it in our work and what we do and when we stop, the way and the manner in which he did it is so completely committed that even we step back and go, we're not quite there yet. Do you understand? So as metaphysical Christians, it would be good for us to look at perhaps some of the energy behind what took him to that moment. We know that everything that you're experiencing is a part of an energy flow that is created by you. Causal energies create the effect of your life. Causal energies created the effect of Jesus' life. Everything that you're experiencing is being called into manifestation from beliefs and energy you hold within. This is not a new concept. We talk about it almost every Sunday, don't we? And don't we forget it almost every Monday? And then we wonder what is happening in our world and how did that happen and what went wrong. And we look for someone to blame. But when we really start looking and understanding, the energy within me is creating the experiences. There's causal energy that's creating my effects. So, in the second year of our seminary studies, you all know we have our first year of studies, which is the teachers of principle, and we study metaphysics. Metaphysical principles and ideas and information and laws. And I've shared with you before, that first year is really all about revamping your ego. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. It's all about how do I see myself in the world. And anyone who's completed the entire year, the 4 sessions, will tell you, yeah, I got it. How we see ourselves in the world changes, and that's our ego's job. Yes? The second year of seminary is the Aquarian. And this is where your heart gets revamped. This is where the entire love center of who you are gets rewritten. And those of you that have been through the Aquarian and are now going through it will also attest to the fact you're put to the test. Your heart, how you feel, what you believe, how you love is rewritten. And you become, at the end of that 5 series set, a different person, heart-wise. Today, I want to deal with the heart. During the second series of the Aquarian, the students start to really look at the life of Jesus Christ, but they look at it from an energy level. And we start looking at what we call the qualities of the Christ. The qualities that Jesus Christ began to demonstrate, qualities within him that allowed him to then become what he became. Now, do you think there would be a key in there for us? Instead of us trying to walk on water without doing the inner work first, we're all going to go down. We need to do the inner work to get the energy behind who he was as a person that made him who he became as a teacher, as a child of God, as an emissary of light for our planet. So, I want to start with a scripture that has 3 of the qualities, and I'm not going to take you through all 10 of them, but just 3. Okay? Simple, easy. One of my students saw the title of the service and she went, "You're going to do all of the qualities of the Christ?" No! So, Jesus is less than 10 and greater than 7. So we're really not sure how old he is when this event occurs. This is the Aquarian, chapter 17. Rabbi Baruchia of the synagogue was helping Mary teach her son. One morning after the service in the synagogue, the rabbi said to Jesus as he sat in silent thought, "Which is the greatest of the 10 Commandments?" Simple question. And for us, wouldn't we immediately go, okay, let me see. Okay, I've got them all. Okay, now we'd start weighing their value, wouldn't we? Okay, don't kill yet. That's a pretty good one. Honor mother and father. Yeah, sometimes you got to not do that. Okay. No, I'm going to Sabbath. Yeah, we pretty much have to do that. And they'd start going and weighing. Would you not? Yes, because we need to find out which the greatest one is. We've just been asked. But that's not what he did. Jesus said to the rabbi, "Teacher, I do not see a greatest of the 10 Commandments. I see a golden cord that runs through all the commandments and binds them fast and makes them one." His eye immediately went to what connects these ideas. Not that these ideas are separate, but what connects them. And if I were to ask you, point blank, what connects the 10 Commandments? You know where your brain would go? Oh, Moses wrote them. God wrote them. God wrote them on the stone. Moses brought them down. They're all laws. Do you see how we're connecting at such a physical level? And his eye went right to, what is the energy behind these commandments? There's one energy. Do you see? And this is what he said. The cord that connects them is love. It belongs to every word of the 10 Commandments. If one is full of love, he cannot do anything else but worship God, for God is love. If one is full of love, he cannot kill. He cannot falsely testify. He cannot covet. He cannot do anything but honor God and man. If one is full of love, he does not need commandments of any kind. He saw a connected string. He felt the energy of the string and understood that the commandments were fulfilled through the energy of love. Pretty enlightening, isn't it? And if you have not read that before, or perhaps the first time you read it, or maybe this is the first time you've heard this idea, isn't this a cool idea? Love fulfills the 10 Commandments. Really, if I love, I won't do these things. Every commandment could be written. If you love, you will not kill. If you love, you will not steal. If you love, you will not do these things. How simple is that? How enlightening is that? How true is that? Doesn't that lift us into a higher awareness of the 10 Commandments? And I hope you would never think of them any other way again. I hope they will always be in your brain now as an act of love. Jesus went from seeing the connection, looking for the guidance, and he came to a higher understanding, a higher truth. Take a breath. The rabbi then said, "Your words are seasoned with the salt of wisdom that's from above." Do you think the rabbi had ever heard that before? No. Well, that's pretty good. I think you're on to something there, kid. Now, who told you this? You know, your words are seasoned with the salt of wisdom from above. Who is the teacher who opened this truth to you? And Jesus said, "I do not know that any teacher opened the truth. It seems to me that truth was never shut. It always was opened up, for truth is one and it's everywhere. And if we open up the minds and open up the windows of our minds, the truth will enter in and make herself at home. For truth can find her way through any crevice, any window, and any open door." And then the rabbi said, "What hand is strong enough to open that door?" And Jesus said, "It seems to me that love, the golden cord that binds the 10 Commandments in one, is strong enough to open any human door so the truth can enter in and cause the heart to understand." From the mouth of a child, from a baby, the baby who had expectations that the knowledge and wisdom of the universe was for him, accessible to him. Wisdom. If you've been around children, their natural inclination is love. From the time they're infants, they respond to love. And left to their own devices, they seek love. We teach them fear. We teach them to be afraid because we are protecting them from the world. And they need to be afraid in order to survive in the world, don't they? No. But that's the prevailing belief. If we do not teach our children to be on the lookout for how to behave to be accepted, for how to watch somebody getting ready to take something from them, for how to truly live with that sharpened sense of danger at every door, they will not be safe. And that's what's happened to our world. Our focus has gone to fear. What do you think would happen if we taught our children to love? We encourage the natural love that's within them. What if we taught our children, darling, God is everywhere. When you walk, feel the feeling of love. There's love, could be love behind every door. There's love within every man. Seek to harmonize with everyone you come in contact with. Seek the good. Give the best of yourself. If we taught that to our tiny ones, what kind of a world do you think they would walk in? There wouldn't be danger coming at them because the causal energy within them would be vibrating at a love base, and it would create effects that supported the belief in love. But let's go back to the 3 steps. In our worlds as adults, walking in this world of fear-based consciousness, we live in a world where we believe there are coincidences and accidents and things that don't really mean anything. And if something unpleasurable happens to us, we dismiss it totally. Do you own that? Yes. When we walk in what this child was believing, there is connectedness in all things if you seek it. And that connectedness can be found. Then we realize there are no accidents. There are no coincidences. Everything that's coming to us is coming to us because of something within us. It's coming to show us something. What if we're all on a journey here just to know love? Then couldn't every single detail that's coming to us show us? Couldn't it be showing us the love we have, the love we're blocking, the love we need to refine? Couldn't every experience be somehow a reflection of that?
Yes.
You bet. Okay. So, let's look at the 3 qualities of the Christ and see if we can incorporate them to take us into that greater space. The first quality of the Christ is looking at the connected tissue, the connectedness. If we could just walk in our world and say, this is not an accident. This is being generated somehow to connect with something, and there's a message in here somewhere for me to benefit me. There's a connectedness. If you just shut your eyes and took inventory of the friends you have, of the activities in your world, of anything, you'll find there's a connective cord that binds the whole thing into your life. Now, once you find that connective cord, you can change the vibration of it. If it is a fear-based cord, does anybody remember, or has anybody ever met someone who gets up and goes to work every day with the fear that they're going to be fired? Okay, some of you know people like that. If you wake up every day with the fear you're going to be fired, and then you look at your world and things don't go right in your world that day, and then you wonder why, do you think there's a connective tissue of the fear moving through everything that comes to you? And if we believe we're a child of God, if we're trying to walk the metaphysical path and that love is beaconing, don't you think there's also a connective tissue of the universe trying to show you that you're loved at the same time this fear thing is moving on? Okay. In all of our situations, there's connectivity. So, are we willing to try to see the connectedness of all things?
Yes.
All right. The next step is being taught by God. Who taught you? The rabbi asked. And Jesus' reply was, isn't the universe full of knowledge? In our world, being taught of God is how we would phrase that. Do you ever, when you see the troubling issues around you or the challenges around you, do you ever shut your eyes and ask to be taught by God? Wisdom and understanding comes about by experience, and that's the truth. Wisdom and understanding comes about by experience. We have a choice on this earth plane. We can experience everything we want to learn through our worldly experiences. If you need to experience challenge, the world can bring you challenge. If you want to experience something and you don't understand it, the world can bring you experiences, so you walk through them and you learn what doesn't work for you, what does work for you. Maybe you come on the other side with an awareness. You see? But sometimes the school of the world can be a slower learning process, and sometimes we need it to be repetitive before we catch on. There's another way to learn, and that's the being taught by God. Anytime you offer up an issue to Spirit and you simply open your mind and you say, show me what this is. Talk to me, God. Talk to me. When you are taught of God, the energy that moves through you is an experience. It's not intellectual reading on a piece of paper. Do you realize that? God doesn't like intellectually write and you read. It is a movement through you of understanding. You're having this experience, and the connected tissue is because of this. But why don't you look at it this way? And the minute you get that understanding, what happens to you energetically? You lift. You are lifted up. And then what you got from Spirit becomes a knowing within the cells of your body. You now, through the experience of talking to God, have gained wisdom and understanding. And we have that choice. We can get our wisdom and understanding through experiencing the tumultuous energies of the world and matter, or we can get our wisdom and understanding through being taught by God.